When you get up in the morning, you probably feel pretty free to choose whatever it is you want to do. And my guess is the first thing you do is reach for your phone. Your phone gives you that continuous access to an online, all-you-can-eat buffet. You can enter in a virtual gambling casino, get hooked on an app or game, or shop till you drop. Be honest, you may be one of the 78% of Americans who can't get out of bed in the morning without checking their phone first thing. Sometimes you don't even notice you're reaching for it. You just do it. Now here's a product you probably don't even know exists. Powdered alcohol. Palcohol. You can simply carry around in this little package and mix yourself up a cocktail whenever, wherever you want. Or maybe add it to your morning coffee. Maybe jazz things up at work. A recipe for disaster. So here's my point. At no time in human history have our species been so bombarded by stuff designed to get us hooked. Companies compete on the very basis of creating ever more habit-forming products. Welcome, my friends. I'm here with another video about losing weight by quitting sugar. Click on the link in the description and access your free one-day sugar-free meal plan. This is Gerald, your health coach and chef. Let's begin. Food corporations hire scientists to engineer the most irresistible habit-forming foods, and sugar is currently their go-to ingredient. But these scientists and executives have flipped the script on us. They actually use brain imaging technologies, the same technologies we use to try and find cures for addiction. The difference being that these scientists put people in an MRI machine and feed them Dorito chips so they can come up with new ways to tweak the recipe and make it even more habit-forming than it already is today. So here's my question to you. When we live in a world that is surrounding us on a 24/7 basis with food products scientifically engineered to be habit-forming, do we really have freedom of choice? Now, most addictive substances are quite safe in their natural form. Heroin comes from poppy seeds, cocaine from the coca plant, and alcohol from fruits and grains. For centuries, farmers high up in the Andes Mountains have chewed on the coca leaves. This is a tradition. It's a mild stimulant like drinking a cup of coffee. It helps them work longer hours and cope with high altitudes. Probably the worst thing that can happen to you after a lifetime of chewing coca leaves is maybe you'll get bad teeth. Things got really bad when we industrialized the coca production process and we learned how to refine the coca plant down to its most concentrated form, a little rock of white powder. That's when the humble coca leaf became the lethally addictive drug we know today as crack cocaine. Until the 20th century, cocaine was an innocent, domesticated white powder just as sugar is today. People put it in everything. You could go to your drugstore and buy it in something like a tonic. People would put it in cough syrup and give it to their kids. Coca-Cola is one of the most successful products in modern history. It was formulated in the 1880s, and the company's founders were so proud of their special recipe that they vowed they would never change it. But at one time in history, the Coca-Cola Corporation was forced to change its recipe. In 1903, when the political climate shifted away from cocaine, the legislature eventually made it an illegal drug. Of course, they just replaced it with a different addictive substance, namely caffeine. Now, you have a concentrated dose of sugar combined with a concentrated dose of caffeine. Double the pleasure, double the chances you'll get hooked. The fact is, as long as food corporations are not breaking any current narcotic laws, they can do pretty much whatever they want to formulate their products to make them even more habit-forming. Now, I grew up in the suburbs outside of New York City, and when we would take the train into the city, we could see the destitute neighborhoods. Every big city has places like this, a few square blocks of extreme poverty and urban blight. There's a liquor store on every corner right under the billboard for cigarettes. We have a name for places like this. We call them nutritional wastelands. It's like living in an obstacle course when it comes to food. Processed food and sugar are the only readily available foods to eat. Today, many of us are living in that same obstacle course. It's on every corner, in every store, in every workplace. 74% of the foods in your grocery store have added sugar, even foods that don't even taste sweet. So why do I care about this so much? Because of two interrelated and disturbing trends: the rising rate of obesity worldwide, and the second is the proliferation of type 2 diabetes in children. Both are linked to heavy sugar consumption, especially in sugary drinks. Type 2 diabetes is called adult onset diabetes because in my parents' generation, we only saw it in adults. Today, 1 out of 4 American teenagers is pre-diabetic or diabetic. Then there's the appearance of a whole new class of diseases that seem to come out of nowhere. The diagnosis of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease didn't even exist until 1980. Another condition linked to overconsumption of added sugar and poor diet. It's one of the leading causes of liver transplants. This is the global warming of the human health crisis. These trends are warning signs like melting icebergs and rising sea levels. They're telling us that there's something very wrong with our food environment. It's not our food supply that is making some of us very sick. It's our choices. Choices that are made for us through product placement and advertising. Now here's the good news. The solution to this situation is within our reach. Now common sense says educate the public in healthy choices and we can make healthy choices. But we all know that this doesn't work. If it worked, then why would 48% of Americans still be drinking at least one sugary drink or more a day? The truth is, I'm in the minority. I have not had a soft drink, a Coke, or a Pepsi product since the Bush administration. Some of you already know that. But when you live in a sugar-saturated environment, more often than not, you'll probably just reach for what's been put in front of you. And if it's a concentrated source of pleasure, a product carefully engineered with white powders to get you hooked, that puts a huge burden on you as a hungry consumer to say no. And too many of us don't. So what do we do about this problem? How do we fix it? The solutions are actually remarkably simple, and here's how it could work. Food companies have gotten very good at seducing us towards their products in ways that we can barely even notice. All of the most effective public health strategies do just the opposite. They gently nudge us away from the unhealthy stuff. It's simple. We just need to flip the script on them. For example, soda companies intentionally keep their prices down so we'll buy more. Some municipalities have put a tax on soda that visibly raises the price to make us think twice about consuming these products. If food corporations are barraging our children with advertisements for Captain Crunch and Cocoa Puffs, we still have control over what goes in our shopping carts and what's in our cabinets and pantries. If they pay grocery stores to put candy at eye level for our little children, we can take our kids to the produce aisle and let them choose whatever fruit they desire. And if they pay famous sports figures to promote their favorite energy drink, we can have our kids fill up on water before reaching for a product that will make them quote-unquote more hydrated. Small changes can add up to big shifts in our environment. We know this from decades of research on addictive substances. I understand we really would like to believe that we are in charge, that we have complete freedom of what we eat. But how free can we be living in a saturated environment that continuously surrounds us with food products carefully engineered to get us hooked and keep us coming back for more? Those kids in the nutritional wastelands or food deserts don't always have access to a grocery store with fresh produce, or even a normal grocery store that's actually stuffed with junk food, 74% of it loaded with added sugar. Experts agree that we should shop around the perimeter of the grocery store. This way we can steer clear of most of the junk that's in the middle. And we need to do so much better. We don't have to suffer in an environment that is engineered to get us fat and then blames us for our health consequences and hands us the medical bills. We don't have to sit by and watch our children suffer from preventable diseases. We can choose to make our environments safe. We no longer have to be victims. We can make a new choice and be victors. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and I hope this video will help you in formulating your sugar-free diet plan. If you're interested in watching more videos about losing weight by quitting sugar, click the link in the description. Then hit the subscribe button and change its color to a beautiful red. See you in the next video.